Hello everybody, I'm Jennifer Miera from the Ross University Hills branch of Denver Public Library. I'm here today to talk to you about how to build a terrarium. So this is a terrarium we have at my branch library that I keep going, and lots of people have admired it. So I thought I would share with you some quick tips on how to make your own terrarium. I got this information from a library book. This is Tiny World Terrariums by Michelle Inciarano and Katie Maslow. They run New York City terrarium shop, or they used to. It's out of business now, sadly. But you can learn all about terrariums in a book, so feel free to check one out. There are a few things you need to get started. One of them is a container. So any kind of container will do. You can find cheap ones at your local craft or even your local nursery. You need some gravel. Usually comes in a bag, something like this. You need some filtration moss. This is sheets of sphagnum moss. Sometimes you'll find it in a block. I like to soak it before I get started, so soak it in some water. And then you'll also need some potting soil. So I just have a container filled with potting soil. You're going to start with about a 1-inch layer of gravel in the bottom of your container. Just get your hands right in there. I'm not going to actually have time to build the whole terrarium with you today, unfortunately. So put a 1-inch layer of gravel in the bottom. Then you're going to add your layer of moss. So it's sitting in some water. Just squeeze it out and layer it in your container all the way to the edges. And on top of that, you're going to add some potting soil. Some people like to add a little activated charcoal. I don't think that's really necessary. I don't mind the earthy smell inside the terrarium. But if you want to, feel free to add some activated charcoal right on top of your moss, then your potting soil. At your local gardening center, you will also find little tiny plants like this one. They're usually around $3 or $4. Grab a couple of them, put the tallest ones in the back of your terrarium and arrange them in a pleasing manner, whatever makes you happy, but the tallest in the back. Then you have other decorative options once you get your plants installed. You have some sheet moss, reindeer mosses. These have been dyed, different colors. They even have purples. Whatever pleases you. And then some other decorative objects like little gnomes. You could do a sea-themed terrarium, mushrooms, little houses, anything like that. So just arrange it in a way that you really like it. You might add some twigs or some sticks. One thing to keep in mind is scale. So you don't want one giant thing in your terrarium and then other little tiny things that aren't on the same size scale as the rest of the objects in your terrarium. That's just one general rule to keep in mind. So I hope that helps a little. You can make terrariums in any kind of container. It's not that expensive to do. You can even gather things from around the house. And I hope you make a nice terrarium. Please share with us if you do when you come into the library. We hope to see you soon. Thanks for joining us today.